Thursday night, the Beatles were in town and packed our show out there with about over 14,000 children, a great majority being girls. Now, these are the youngsters from the better homes, because the underprivileged cannot afford $5 a seat, and the reservations were made last April. Some of the parents were there, most of them were not. The youngsters came there to see the Beatles. Now, this court is not a prude, and we know that each teenage group wants to produce its own music, its own dancing, its own heroes. Our own folks, we remember the days of the other heroes who were before us. But the question is, can you take 14,000 children and pack them in to one stadium? And they know they're coming there to get hysterical. And the whole show was based upon producing hysteria, the preliminary acts as well as the Beatles. And then these girls went into a coma. They ranted, they fainted, their eyes were glassy. Some pulled their hair out, some tore their dresses. They threw notes of a very undesirable nature on the stage. Some girls, after the performance, kissed the stage, and some went up and kissed the very seats in which the Beatles had sat. And with this, one father brought a child who was epileptic, and the child had an epileptic fit. And some of the parents took their children home before the show was over because it was, as some people say, unbelievable. Now, what is the juvenile court to do with this? We don't expect to see girls or boys come in here from that show because of something wrong they did. But that show has sown certain seeds in these youngsters. And the seeds could be of a physical nature where they could be impaired with it, could be of a mental situation, girls going out on dates, their misconception of what this whole problem is about. And there's so many other factors that come into this that we in the juvenile court have to try to prevent anything of a nature that's going to cause trouble. I think we can all agree that the show was not good, and if it's not good, why must we have it? Why must some parents be there to witness this thing and regret it, and why must other parents let children go to a place where if they would have seen the show, they would not have permitted? I believe that a dictionary definition of a Beatle is a bug. And of course, the bug also means being crazy. And I don't think the Beatles are bugs. They've done very well. They've made a fortune off of this whole hysteria created by the media of communication and other means, and the children were conformists, and they fit right in this. It became very stylish to get tickets for the show, and if you didn't see the Beatles, you were not in style. I realize that. But I think the parents are bugs to let their children go to a production like this kind, not knowing what it was like, or if they did know what it was like, to expect their child to have such a horrible result placed on them. One newspaper said that the girls stripped off the veneer of civilization. I don't know if I would go that far, but if you could see how uncontrollable they were, the glassy eyes, the physical and mental condition, you would agree that the show was not...
No other event had a greater effect on modern popular culture than Beatlemania. It permeated every level of society on a global scale. The Fab Four were demigods to an entire generation. It has been 30 years since the Beatles first burst upon the popular music scene, but nothing, it seems, can diminish our fascination with them. They revolutionized the dress, hairstyles, attitudes, and beliefs of an entire generation, and their impact on the lives of fans born even after they disbanded is powerful as well. Unlike almost anyone else who made their mark as popular entertainers, the Beatles were unique in their ability to so accurately funnel their life experience into both their music and engaging public statements. As armchair philosophers, the Fab Four weren't bad, honestly shoveling their hard-won perceptions year after year into everything they did. In comparison to today's self-involved crop of empty-headed crooners, John, Paul, George, and even Ringo have generally had something interesting to say. As George Harrison once commented when asked why the so-called current potentate pop stars didn't really impart too much of importance in their music anymore, he reeled off, "Because they don't know anything, do they?" Apart from the marvelous music, the boys had quite a lot of interest to say as well. Remember John's headline-grabbing bet-ins, Paul's public statements on the relative merits of all natural LSD, or George's stint as the materially exhausted wannabe Hare Krishna? All things considered, the Beatles were really quite wonderful geezers, rank amateurs as aspiring gods, but insightful musicians with open hearts and minds to match. Here then is an evening's worth of entertainment of the really fine things the Beatles and their friends have had to say over the last 30 years on such varied subjects as God, drugs, music, their acrimonious breakup, and even themselves. This collection of interviews with the Fabs and their mates is the end result of years of peeking in on the Beatles' turbulent lives through any window I could find.
He swam with us, yes.
Drowning in the Pacific.
Saying, "Can I come on your boat?" And we said no, and he had to swim miles back. Teaching.
Paul, what sort of music are you going to have at your party in Sydney?
You having a party?
Yeah, you want to come?
Yeah,
I'll have one of these.
I don't know, any kind, you know. Rock and roll. You know, the kind of music that we like. Rhythm and blues, rock and roll.
You don't dig the classics at all?
Yes, a little bit, you know.
Is that American dig?
Don't exactly make party swing, do they? You know. Oh, Beethoven, he's all right. But,
If you put it on fast, it goes
Well,
like
fast,
always gets a laugh.
It's a riot. But otherwise, he normally sends them home. So,
John, are you going to write any more books?
I suppose so, yeah. You know, just do it when I feel. When I feel like, you know, just do it.
Ask me another.
Ask me another. Well, you know, it's years really, because some of it's from about 4 years ago. Most of it was written last summer or one summer when we were in Margate and that. Suddenly, all of a sudden it came pouring out.
John.
You were there when it poured out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I find it a little frightening to have triggered off all that hysteria that went on outside today.
It's flattering rather than frightening.
It's not frightening unless they get too near, you know. Well, I mean, all that many at once. Yes?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
No.
Do you ever get something
young at heart.
Yes, that's a
No,
possibility,
greatest
but
worry, actually.
they seldom do. They just miss it by about half an inch, some of them.
Well, I think you can't have written down.
I think they were policemen's.
We didn't touch
I
it.
never touched them. Never touched them.
Why? Are you above them?
Pardon? No, I mean, I couldn't get at them.
I was tired.
I was trying. Oh, yes.
You're acting in the film A Hard Day's Night.
Acting.
Have any of you actually
Who criticised?
It hasn't been seen yet.
apparently somebody saw it in preview in London and they had a story.
It hasn't been
It
previewed
hasn't been
yet.
previewed or anything.
Anyway, we're still acting hours. It will tell you that before you see it. You know.
Training.
We're not good actors,
not
you know. We
actors.
don't pretend to be.
Our manager went to RADA though. If that's any help.
Went to radar.
Didn't you, Bright?
Did I go on the ball to a hole?
We have
Well,
to
it's
do
good.
at least 2 more because it's a contract. I mean, we'll enjoy it though because it's a good change doing films. It's fun doing it.
The best bits are where you don't have to speak and you just sort of run about and that.
And the worst bit's getting up at 6 in the morning.
Trying to read the lines on the way there.
Paul,
Yes.
what were your first words to Ringo when you saw him start playing again?
Hello, Ringo. Ringo. It's good to see you again.
You remember?
What an actor, eh? See the way delivery there.
Hello, Paul. It's good to see you again.
In fact, that's how it went, really. Very good.
How many records have you got from Carl's storage? Waiting for release.
I've got one upstairs.
Yeah, we got... I don't know, the position's different in different countries. In England, there's
Nice place, isn't it? He means how many have we got?
two sides.
Just the
two
music
sides of
from
a
the
single.
film, I think.
Oh, and the film music.
And an EP.
Which will be
No, the EP's
one
out
new
here.
single
This is
and
how
an
slow
LP.
down with them on. What's on
That's so
tour,
far.
Sally? I called it in.
What, about 15 songs, 15... I say 18 songs as a rough guess. They'll be released shortly.
How long will that carry you on? So how long will relate?
That will do, I think, on this.
Well, it's not 18 releases, it's one LP and one EP, which I think has been released here
Half of
already.
it
That's what
has.
I mean, it's different in different countries. And one single record. I don't know how long it will carry us on for you. It's difficult to assess.
Do you get a chance to produce anything new when you are traveling? Is this
Songs, yes.
New socks and shirts and things like that. About all.
Does it worry you not being able to just walk out of the door and go for a walk or go shopping when you feel like it?
Well, we did that till we were about 17, you know. We've had 17 years of being able to walk to the shops. We've only had 2 years of not being able to walk to them now.
They're too crowded anyway, aren't they? You tried the Australian beer yet?
We don't do... Oh, have you?
Oh, I've had
It's no hand he shoved one in my face. It's quite nice, actually.
What's your favourite drink?
Bourbon.
Scotch and
Scotch, you've
I've
changed. Bourbon. Did you get that in hospital? Yeah. What kind of hospital? He gave me a bottle of scotch to pep me up.
Oh,
While I was away, you know. I don't know, it's just a fab dog. Fab gear dog? Dog. All right, George.
All right.
Just noticed
All right,
Another
Ringo.
one, you know. Not you, the other one. When we know
Did you, were you ever asked to go in to see orphans or blind children unofficially?
No. You get lots of sort of charity things which are sort of worked out by our manager, how many we can do and when and where, whether we can appear or just donate, it depends.
Were you asked to go anywhere like that here?
Well, it never comes, the only things that come through to us are the ones that we do, you know, otherwise we'd be reading letters all day.
Yes, but I meant like an unofficial visit to an orphanage here. So
No, I haven't seen any.
I haven't been asked to do anything like that.
you haven't. Would you be in it if you were?
Well,
It depends how many and when they asked you to do it.
Of course, if we could, you know, of course we would, yes. But it's not always possible.
Is this tour a money success so far? You're having a bit of trouble selling some of your tickets.
We don't sell the tickets and we get paid anyway whether there's nobody there or not, but they've sold out, or the seats that are not are usually people that are ill. You know, it's been a good
How are you
tour.
feeling, Ringo?
I'm fine. No, I'm great. I feel great.
Do you think your
How are you?
tonsillitis? Do you think your tonsillitis might change the group's sound?
Well,
Do you think it will? No, I don't think so. Only for a few days when I don't sing.
yeah.
If you could call it singing. All right, Mal. You keep meeting friends, you see. Excuse me. I'm so friendly. Friendly donkey.
How much time have you got that you can call your own?
About 10 minutes.
What did you do in that 10 minutes?
Watch TV.
Would you have any time to attend an Australian football match during the stay?
We don't like football.
You've never seen Australian rules.
I know, Britain's
We don't like any sport.
a bit too healthy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not that healthy.
Possibly healthy, yeah.
What do you look at on television? The Beatles?
No. If they're on.
Anything, you know, whatever happens to be on. I watch the Welsh television at home. Love it.
He even watches the time card.
Get the flower pot men. Good stuff.
Must be an English joke.
Do many people write asking for money?
One or two.
Or 3 or 4?
5 or 6.
Guess what we do?
Yeah, a lot of people do. Handlord mayors of places.
What? Oh yeah, one fella asked us.
Fellow in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Actually, they normally come up and ask us. And he's got a great big gold chain on, a big diamond in the middle of it. And he says, "Give us a bit of money, fellas."
For the Edinburgh
No,
Festival.
why doesn't he pawn his chain if he wants a bit of money? Well, you know, it's worth about 20,000 quid. Asking us for money.
Cheeky.
As much as we get to us, a lot of it they send straight to the fan club.
How much do you get a week as a group?
Well, we don't know really, because the one fan let us go to London, and we're in Australia, but we won't see that bit, so we can't.
Come to you here.
We do.
Yes,
we're carrying it around in polythene bags at the moment.
Kit bag, one presumes.
Do you get a weekly allowance?
Yes.
Money. Yes.
How much is it?
Well, whatever
Not
we
telling. We don't spend hardly anything because what can you spend on in a room?
You just give it an important part of your act. Have you got any feelings at all about being fashion leaders? Do you select your own clothes, or does somebody guide you, Mr. Epstein, or somebody decide?
Oh, look at him. You're joking.
Well, we pick our own.
Actually, he copies ours. All right, Brian.
Could I just put in a moment? Have 2 more minutes for questions, please, before the break, before 10 minutes.
Right, Derek.
Thank you. Thanks.
What do you think is the greatest force, television or radio at the moment?
Greatest force?
The most powerful medium?
TV, I'd say.
TV or radio?
I suppose TV is.
I don't know though. I prefer radio, I think.
All depends which
For
country
us, I think radio is because they play more records on radio than they do on TV, and people hear more about it. TV seems the obvious one, but they're probably right about radio.
Through radio, didn't you? Really, in the beginning?
It was mainly in the beginning through touring, not radio.
You always get on
You don't
radio
get on radio till you've gone round
right.
and done something. They're not just going to put you on because you made a record. They play it once and that's it.
I think they're both, very effective mediums. Media.
Correct.
Latin. Bit of Latin there.
Any Australian girls?
Have we been out with any?
Yes.
Well, we haven't been out.
Great.
We're trying.
Trying very hard. Anyone watching in?
Yeah.
7.
They usually find us. I can't
That's
help.
a good one.
Do you like it?
I enjoy that.
Would you like it for the next press
Could you
conference?
write it down, please?
Okay, go.
So I can remember.
If you had seen the Beatles, do you think you would have stood out in the rain in Sydney and agreed another group?
No.
We probably wouldn't have been in Sydney. But
Would you do you think have done or have this attitude towards pop singing groups?
we always used to ourselves, had the same attitude exactly. I mean, I used to go to all the concerts and shout my head off, and I used to get,
Hooligan.
used to get excited when I saw, all the people I liked. It's, it's a good feeling. I felt exactly the same as the people who come to our show, I think.
Did you sit out all night to see somebody arriving at midday next day?
Don't know really.
Did you ever?
No.
I paid 17 and 6 to see Bill Haley, and I was only about 14. I only got a shilling a week. See? Enthusiasm. Even in the early days.
Paying it off you. Paying it off you.
What did you do?
Have you finished paying it off yet?
Comedian.
Can needs a room.
How much time do you think you've got left as a top singing record?
We haven't a clue. If we knew, we'd take our bets on it.
No idea.
Well,
He's asleep.
He's a quiet one.
I think possibly with my break here for the press to go and have a soft drink, a cup of tea. And then
Lovely
the
eyes.
lovely eyes you've got ringing. Hasn't he got lovely eyes? And then the television people to set up as soon as possible we can then catch. Thank you very much indeed.
The telly's been on all the time,
Thank
I
you,
can't tell you.
What got you asking us a question?
Are there all that many papers? There always seems to be a lot of people writing, and there's only 2 papers in each town, or 1. It's true. There always seems to be about 800 people writing and 800 people taking photographs. You see 1 photograph and one paper. How many papers are there here?
3.
3?
Ah, but the weeklies.
Several weekly papers.
I forgot about them. I knew there was something else.
Who's that fella crawling up your knee? Watch him. Seen his type before. Very bad.
It's dodgy.
What do you think of the Australian groups that are on the show?
They're good.
overseas one?
They got tickets on the plane.
On the boat?
You missed that. You missed it. Is that it? Okay. Thank you. Yes?
We're going for coffee.
The kettle.
We're going this way.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
The Beatles, one of the most electrifying names ever to hit show business. Here on Hollywood Star Newsreel is a dramatic, candid look at these incredible entertainers. Not for 1 minute will we try to explain this phenomenon, but here is the remarkable proof of what they did to Hollywood, a town that lives with the brightest stars in the business day in and day out. This is Los Angeles International Airport, besieged for hours with thousands of teenagers waiting for their idols. The arrivals of the Beatles' big Pan Am jet stretches their patience almost to the breaking point. And then it explodes. The Beatles, Ringo, Paul, John, and George. Their effect on Europe and America, almost unbelievable. Press conference has been arranged. It will go on as scheduled, but certainly not as planned. As you will see, disorganized is putting it mildly.
What do you think of your movie?
Whose offer?
Second president.
It's all no relation. I don't even know her, you know. Believe me.
Sorry, what were you going to say? Oh, you were going to say?
You know what happened in Sweden?
It was very big. Very good. I can't tell, yeah. Can you count?
5 or 6, I'd say.
There's a lot of people.
No, man, sir, we're trying to make the television here, you know.
Doing a bit of each, you know.
What is your opinion of other groups that have patterned themselves after you?
Great. We don't know any.
Most of them don't. Most of them try to be different. That's the point.
What?
Don't ask me. I didn't know we were making the first.
What kind of a musical background do you have? Do all of you have before you started out?
12 bar.
Nothing. Not really.
Not really.
No formal education.
You just started together and sort of blended into the group.
Crap. Crap.
Was it?
C-R-A-P.
Oh. No, it's a dice game.
A dice game.
A dicey game.
You thought it was something else, didn't you? You're a naughty journalist,
Let me ask you this question. With all of the success that you people have had, what do you plan to do with all of the money that you've now made?
Lady over there.
I don't know, really. We don't make plans.
Yeah.
Do any of you have any independent plans, or do you think that the group will continue to go on?
Great, we got a house to go to.
Continue as long as we can.
I don't know, I just said I made it up. I have a clue, I didn't even know we were here.
Do you change your behavior often?
Never.
Are you playing?
I just keep them in a box. No. Very nice, you know. Except when you never, you know, I've had these 3 on. Hey? Well, you know, I've got to keep hold of them.
Only very occasionally. We enjoy it.
Can I come on a truth magazine?
I don't know after this flight. I have no idea.
Well, I thought I'd have a change.
question. How do you feel about all of the enthusiasm?
I've got them in the case. I've got a tooth there and
the teenagers display
Why the light
for you?
Because we love it because it's flattering. I mean, wouldn't you feel the same if they displayed it for you?
Well, but you have a lot more attention directed to you. Your group has made more of a stir in the United States than almost anything that's happened.
I don't know. Wouldn't you be flattered if that happened to you?
But does it ever scare you? The enthusiasm that some of the teenagers display.
No,
Well, you're all traveling under such high security.
Yeah, but that's why probably it doesn't scare us, because we never get frightened. We never get near to a dodgy situation.
Well, let me ask you this. Many groups have had a lot of trouble because of disputes that break out among the members of the group. Do all of you get along pretty well?
Well, we've been each other's friends for years now, a long time.
I've never met them yet.
I knew George and John at school.
I don't even know the girl.
And so we are each other's friends, so we get along.
Rubbish.
You get along pretty well.
Best friends do, which is lucky.
Yeah.
It's good.
I know nothing.
And all our jokes are nearly all private jokes.
I wonder if we could get Ringo's attention there.
Well, you'll have to watch
What do you think about this reception here now with all of these cameras? We even have live TV cameras in all of the newsrooms here. Did you expect this kind of a reception?
Not even another baby, I'll tell you that for sure. It's a dirty lie. I don't know what the slander laws are over here, but I'm certainly going to investigate them. Right?
Get your hand up.
Yes?
You've seen the Stones, haven't you?
No, we do get haircuts actually, surprisingly enough. But it just doesn't.
Last night I had one.
You notice when you've had a haircut, but
no lie.
You don't notice when we have. Well, most sneaky haircuts.
We're just well groomed.
Most young men in the United States that are your age have a little problem to worry about being in the military. Do you have such laws over in England? You don't have to worry about getting into the service.
Just how I feel,
Right over here. I'm looking over here for that great group.
I
got all your
No idea. No idea at all.
Fellas, over here.
That's the truth.
Over here. Everybody looking over here.
Everybody over here.
Zappy snaps there.
George.
I've got a ticket for any of the performances. They don't give us tickets. We just play, I can't hear them.
The guy doing 5 interviews. Got 2 of them now.
We don't know. Somebody might have arranged it, but we haven't thought about it. How are you doing then? All right. Let's make it easy.
Have you heard about having a place to stay or not having a place to stay down here in Los Angeles? You know anything about that?
We're not interested.
You're not
As long as we get a bed each. Only John.
No, John's the only one. Yeah, but it's so corny when you say we're just good friends, isn't it? But it's true.
The airport authorities would like to close the thing down now. Oh, you all right? What should we say, Cheerio?
That we're friends, and nothing more. We Walter Winchell said we're married, but we're not.
Hey, Walter Winchell. Not married at all. The airport man says we've got to go. Cheerio, then. Back on the 23rd for photos and fun. Hello. Honolulu.
Wait a minute. Sit down. Move. Over here.
Rubbish.
Rubbish.
Speak up. It's got to
Rubbish.
be one word, huh?
What differences do you find between the reception you get here in this country and abroad?
What is the difference between the Beatles' reception in America and the Beatles' reception in other countries?
There's just more people over here.
The quality is not different anyway.
But it's a little bit wilder because there are more people.
America is wilder because there are more people.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Ringo. Ringo and Johnson, second choice.
We're all shouting once again.
Which one? Pardon?
Repeat.
Well, we had our hair like this before the fame. What's the opposite to subside? Upsided.
It's alive, Mike.
So we won't bother changing it.
It's alive. Oh, each one of these is live, Paul. Big one. There's a big loud one.
Okay.
All these little ones.
I don't know.
The Beatles come to Delmonico because they weren't answers to the plaza.
With that?
You've seen the film.
Yeah. It's on there.
As seriously as you can, how do you account for the type of reception you get? The phenomenon is called...
We can't account for it, it's...
Well, it's been going on for quite a few months now. You must have some ideas of why people like it.
We don't, really no idea.
Mainly the
Probably
music.
a combination.
What did you say, John?
Mainly the music.
Mainly the music.
That comes first, and we come after.
You think that's more important than your personalities and your...
Well, I mean, people heard us playing on records before they saw us. They see after you've made the record.
And anyway, if we made very bad records... But I'm just saying that because you probably think they're bad anyway. But I mean, if we made very bad records, then we definitely would be finished.
Keep us from shouting at once when we understand for the question.
This question was asked before about whether you intend to leave the Beatles brings up the question of what are you going to do when the day of the Beatles' fame is over. You've written a book which was quite successful. Do you intend to keep on writing for it?
Yeah, I'll do it anyway, whether we're famous or not. I did it before we were famous, I'll do it after we're famous.
He's doing
What about the rest of you? What do you...
Well, John and I mean, if he's not writing too much, we'll probably carry on songwriting. Because it's, we don't look upon it as a business. It's a hobby more than anything, so we'll probably carry on.
What about films? You've had quite a success in this first one.
Well, if we get a chance to do more films, and if people still want to see us in films, then we probably do it, but we've got no plans.
One's about my wife having more children than I can account for.
We've been wearing them for years. It's an old one, man.
What type of Segovia? Did you get one? What? Oh, you have one. I was going to say, I knew where you could get it. Here, the same chap that makes it for Segovia.
This is George.
Question for you. Not hear the question. Give me a shout.
I said, does George feel that he's not as popular as the others?
He goes a bomb in Sweden.
Not really, and it doesn't really bother me. He's not YouTube's popular. He is popular anyway.
A woman. I'm trying.
Clue.
Derek, the woman at the back.
Our accountant's in the next hotel. The woman at the back there, Derek. Go on.
Well, if they're going to leave us just for that, they may as well go anyway,
But anyway, we were told as soon as we got here last night by the police, don't look out of the windows and don't wave. And if we do that, then we get the police chief coming up and saying, well, we're finished, boys. And he goes away and he won't look after us, so we can't do anything.
Did your fame go beyond the Iron Curtain?
Don't know.
Never hear about it over there.
Excuse me, but lots of
people have asked you this question, but do you like America?
Yes, we wouldn't be here if we didn't like it.
Do we like America?
Little boy in the family classes says, a lot of people have asked this question, but do the Beatles like America?
Yes, we do.
Saying that'll be 2 minutes. I don't know, you know, we just keep going and see what happens. I haven't planned anything.
Ringo, your taste in music has been said to be from R&R to C&W. Does it go any farther than that?
No. Folk? Well, what's C&W? Not folk. It's folk. Well, I look at it.
What?
What was that?
In that film, they have some coat hangers marked Hotel Corporation of America. Where did they get them from?
I didn't even see them.
Props, we don't go.
I never even noticed.
The airport police were quite concerned about some oversized roughnecks who tried to infiltrate the crowd.
That was us.
They took a rifle away from one of the boys. It turned out later to be a stud anyway. But I wondered what kind of insurance you fellas carry. How difficult is it for you to get insurance when you go into these towns where you're obviously going to be mobbed? Get that insurance
I don't know.
We are insured.
Somebody insured us. We don't know anything about it. We just signed the paper, you know.
Well, who wants a rich mother?
It's a proposal.
You know, if you're proposing to it, it's a good thing, I suppose,
if you're married.
What leisure time?
What's your itinerary?
Sunday. I don't know where we playing.
I mean, from what time are you going to leave here for Atlantic City?
Close secret.
You changed your style since you began to now. You're playing the same way, the same kind of...
Basically, we're playing the same. You know, it changes a bit. Your recording style changes, you know, because...
What message are you trying to get across, if any?
We're not trying to get any message across.
Entertain?
Yeah,
we
just play
singing songs, you know, we're not doing anything more. We're not preaching or anything.
George, what are you going to do after this dies out? And you just had
They keep saying this every 2 minutes. What are you going to do, guys?
Well, as Ringo just said, that's the whole report.
As John just said, don't get me into trouble.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'd like to ask John and Paul, if Ringo had not replaced Pete Best.
Probably not. Well, we might have made good records. You know, we might have sold. I don't know. You can't tell. You know, it's like, give in.
Was any part of the Beatles be improvised by yourself?
A bit of it was, but even when we improvised something, you have to do take 11. So by the time you'd finished, it wasn't improvised at all. You know.
Have you made up parts?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him, but I just heard him say once that extremism is a virtue, and I just thought that was a bit mad, you know.
Who?
For your concert in Seattle,
yes.
The effect on the children, the 14,000 children there, equally unhealthy, and he said you had a neurotic effect. How do you feel about it?
It was probably him that was unhealthy watching it. John, yeah, thank you.
George, you had an incident the other night with a photographer on the West Coast. Do you find that the frenzy that surrounds your life makes your tempers wear thin?
No, I was in very high spirits that evening, and I just walked out baptizing. After we finish shows at night, we usually try.
And one from a child.
Right here.
Yeah.
Did you like, I was looking in a magazine, did you like the snowball fight?
Oh, well, it was set up, really. It was good fun, though.
Don't
Unless, you know...
destroy his illusions. He loves them.
Pardon?
Disneyland?
No.
We don't even know what it is.
This is the last question.
Glad you could all make it. Full full.
Well, nice.
Hi, Fred.
Oh, that's right. Nice to have all your country cousins here today sticking with us.
See Fred made it.
There's Mr. Buck Owens in the audience. Mr. Buck, you like to give us a song, Buck?
Any of these Johnny Gordon, check your load.
Hi, y'all. They got my ciggies again. Yes, they got them again.
He's out of the Polaroid.
No, it's okay, thanks. English one. Oh, no. What?
One jump from out. Hi. Hello, Kevin.
Derek, just be away from the ashtray.
Well, wink. There you go. There you go, Barry. Nice place you got here. Over there, Joe.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that John the one.
I saw the Beatles in London.
Yes?
Well, in suntan and everything.
Yeah.
And now you look male, you have Ringo particularly, and you look fine. Great.
Thank you.
It was 3 days before you became ill, and I'm wondering, I've heard reports about you may have to go back to the hospital with maybe an operation. I wonder how things are.
I'm fine. And we just want to take the tonsils out in case they cause any more trouble, you see. There's nothing wrong with them now, but it could happen again.
Have you been singing on the tour?
Every night.
You sing that?
All right. You coming?
Coming to the show?
Nah.
Would you hesitate telling all the young boys your age where you're kind of different?
No. No, unless they wanted to, you know.
Fun.
Well, how have you found Boston so far compared with other cities?
I haven't seen an awful lot of it, actually. We just saw
The people here.
people.
What people?
Americans, you know. Fine. Very nice. Can't really compare them, you know, because
One more question.
I haven't met a lot of people either. But very nice, the ones I've met.
Oh, what's your first reaction to the gentleman within this building who thinks he is you?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some fellas. Ooh. Doing the stress jacket after. As long as he isn't, you know, I don't mind.
Have you met Buddy Bailey last round?
What, pardon?
Buddy Bailey is the one that said he looks like Paul, and Ryan Palmer is the one that said he looks like Ringo.
Fun. This is one of the cures. Oh, God help him.
There was a very unhappy press and newspaper at the airport arrival early this morning, and we understand that you people are not for all of the security. It was to the point where a picture was not even taken of you. Do you go along with it?
Yeah, well, it was ridiculous last night. Well, we promised to do a TV interview. You know, there's one definite promise to do an interview.
Yes.
And we just got out of the cars and playing.
No, we just got
We couldn't
told to
get
get in the car.
It was good security, but it was just a bit too much, you know.
Who does this?
Well, it's usually the local police, you know. But I mean, they're not really blamed because they don't know what's going to happen. But, you know, it was just unfortunate they couldn't take photos last night. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with these police. No. Oh, very nice. Okay. Very nice police. Big too. We should see if I died with...
Are you aware of any of the actions of the youngsters during your performance, any of their affection, any of their shouting and so forth?
Yeah.
Does that encourage you?
Yes. Nice, you know. Oh, very good. Do be encouraged.
John, you plan doing more writing?
Yes.
How soon?
Oh, just whenever I just feel like, you know.
You don't have any immediate plans?
No, I'll just do it now and then.
Looks like it.
Oh, thank you.
Hang on.
The last remark.
I said it looks like it. Love it. It's very...
The
cup.
Yes, it is. Sometimes it's off there.
It doesn't look like stuff that you sit down and play on, right?
Oh, no. It works, though, doesn't it? It doesn't something funny, though. There's a man there with glasses.
Do you plan to have another movie in the near future?
Yes, we started in February. We don't know what it's going to be about yet. thought that
Do you
clear.
feel that you're setting a new trend in music?
No.
Do the boys honestly believe that they will continue in this vein, making the wonderful money they are, and with all these performances, or will they fade like the miniature golf courses of a few years ago?
You're taking on my size.
Probably will, but we'll get out before we fade.
We make more money than miniature golf courses.
When do the Beatles get a chance to write their music?
Normally it's days off, or at night in hotel bedrooms, or I don't know, any time we've got off, or any time we've got a chance.
What's your favorite sport?
Sports, none of us are very keen on sport. Swimming's good. Water skiing.
Well, we had to in Key West, or whatever it's called.
No, I don't think so. It may be.
We wouldn't want to do another 2 days out of their lives, it'd be silly.
It will be, innit? But it's about the end of the
How many more months or years do you expect to continue at your present peak?
I don't know about
we don't think about it.
About 6 months ago, somebody else asked us that 6 months ago. And they said, well, you can't go any further from here, can you? This is it.
Can we keep the noise down a bit on the right, particularly?
Yeah, they can't tell.
Particularly on the right.
Arthur Fiedler of Boston Popcorn, he finds your music very relaxing. How do you find your music?
I like the tunes he plays,
Have you ever heard of him? No,
very relaxed. I want to hold your... Yes, good hope, Bob.
Good tunes. Forget. No, it's nice.
What a chap who's the black man. Oh, I had it bought for me, Somebody bought it for me. It could have been anything. I'd have still worn it.
So there's nothing significant about the
Worn.
I used to hear that the four of you were poor province from up to halfway in England. Now that you're millionaires,
We're not millionaires.
planning on giving to charity.
We were giving a fortune to charity. We're not millionaires.
And we were never really poor anyway.
No.
All of us were just so average. But we got...
The story they got in America was very wrong.
But we were just
a gang of sluts and we
dragged
got a
up.
penny. So that's untrue. Dressed up.
Never went without money,
And we've already given a fortune.
We've already given a lot. But the thing is, when we give it, we don't sort of shout about it like a lot of people do.
We don't tell anybody. You got it?
The Boston papers are using it already. They say 60,000.
There's a room in
Boston.
With one of those fellows that looks like him. Lots of them in Boston.
You know how much money a day you make?
No.
Very.
Can you ring those say his concerts are coming out?
Not yet.
Not at this moment.
Next holiday we have.
Yeah, tell them about somebody. Some fan wrote in that could she have them?
She can have them, no good for me.
Have any of you ever met J. Paul Getty?
Oh, in? No.
Seen a picture of him in a Beatles wig, well.
I don't know.
I don't like that.
I think she's quite good.
Oh, yeah, this is...
I think she's quite good, though.
Like a young Giuliano.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we have our little girl.
We have our ladies.
We have our mini.
They reckon spring occasionally. Don't know very much.
Yes.
How long do they swing tonight?
I don't
We
know.
sing for about 30 to 35 minutes.
I saw the last press conference, the one that I saw. It was a 3-hour ordeal, really, for just to be there. And I was wondering how you guys were able to take the copy. I was thinking particularly of when you were all set to go home, and there was an Australian cameraman who didn't have any film in his camera, and he made you sit back down and do it all over again. At this point, I think I would have hit him. But you remained calm all the way through this thing.
Because you were in the room.
Why? But I was just wondering if it gets to be a bit of a drag after a while.
The trend of the question was, do the Beatles find press conferences a bit of a drag, and if not, how do they remain so calm?
We went down to see the Beatles show for hands and we camped out all night. That was kind of nice.
Began to line up today in anticipation of the arrival of the Beatles, who will be performing here this evening. The young lady who claims to be first online is Beverly Crook from Ross Township. Miss Crook, what time did you get here?
7 o'clock last night.
How did you spend the night?
Over at the bus terminal. We slept in a bus. The policeman allowed us to sleep in the bus, and he said it was better than sleeping on the street.
Didn't your parents have any objection to your coming here and spending the night in that fashion?
Yes, around that. Anything, just the same as anybody else. Is this a British consul, man? Quite no. This is Mr. Bamford, is it? Right, sir. British consul. Have a jolly good cup of tea. How many rings has Ringo?
Where in all have I got?
On his hand.
I've got 4 on these. I've got about 10 I'd wear, but I've had these 4 on for 3 years now. So I don't change them very often.
Now then. Has Ringo ever written a song, or does he plan to?
I've written one, but we never seem to get round to recording it. A lot of people know about it, but we never recorded it.
Blackmail, isn't it?
Just in general, what do you think of these kind of press conferences?
The most enjoyable.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes. I mean, we're not trying, Do the Beatles have to go into the army?
No, the call finished.
Why not?
Finishes September 1939 if you're born then, and we were all born after that. We're all born 1940.
There's no draft anymore in England for anyone.
Not even a bit of open.
Another mental thing. There's a man in the hotel who claims to have written the words to I Want to Hold Your Hand.
We'll see him in court.
He was in Sydney last month.
Him and a million others that were first to play our records.
Was he really first?
Yes, that's... Well, there's a lot of people claim to be first, so we congratulate them all on their good choice.
Yes. Yes?
Who calls?
Has John got another book coming out?
I hope so.
What is their educational background? Lousy, Sir John.
All had quite good educations, honestly.
What is Paul drawing?
Various members of the press conference. He always does it.
How much have the Beatles made on the tour so far? Do they know?
A lot. We don't know an exact figure, but it's quite healthy. Oh dear. Quite a healthy amount. Thank you again.
Hang on.
What do you think of the adult attempt to psychoanalyze your fans?
Nothing else to do.
What do you think about some of their conclusions?
Wrong.
How do you analyze your fans?
We don't.
You were quoted in Pittsburgh as saying that you do not trust American barbers.
We don't trust any barbers.
sir. There's been some question about John writing the next movie you guys make.
Has John, will John write the screenplay of the next movie? No. No. No.
I'm sure, Fred. He asks this every day. It's going too far, Fred.
I really want to know.
We're going to have a laugh.
Yes, sir. Keep the noise down. Yes. What do they think about when they're imprisoned in their hotel room?
She never said that.
More or less.
Think about anything.
Is that what you meant, madam? Yes.
We don't think about one thing. Well, some of them do. But just think about anything normal, you know.
Be quiet, madam. Yes. You have much nicer manners than the lady behind you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. What do the Beatles think of Cleveland Police Department? Why do you ask that question?
Oh, for them astounding it.
Why do you ask it?
They have been, as your dad a policeman. No, they're very good.
They've been good.
Ringo, when's the last time you had your hair trimmed?
About 3 days before we came to America.
Didn't want to shock you with long hair.
Does John write about anybody he knows in his stories?
No, they're never fully about people. The only thing he'd take is somebody's name, you know, or somebody's character.
Should I ask the boys what they think of, first of all, Rolling Stones, American Cakes?
What do they think about the Rolling Stones, the British group?
Yeah. Well, we're good friends of theirs.
Yeah, very good.
That's the truth.
Don't like your cake, though. Nor your tea. Yes, sir.
Coffee's nice, bud.
Pardon? Anytime, 5 to 6, I'm always in. Oh, well, see you later then.
John, where did you get some of the ideas for your book?
I don't know, we're getting a lot of plugs for the book, though, aren't we? Anywhere, you know.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, could I ask you what city in this country you have enjoyed the most and which city you have disliked the most?
Oh, we had a good laugh in New York.
Yeah.
Bit of trouble in Jacksonville, it's so windy.
That's about it.
Which city did you like the best?
New York.
I like the more quiet.
It's big, you know, we like big cities.
Lady here. We can't hear this lady. I'm sorry. Can you? Right. It's not in America.
No.
When they're at home, do they play darts?
No.
No.
No. We don't even play when we're not home.
Oh, dear. Right. Hey. Hi.
There's one. What do you mean American groups?
Or English?
No, English. There's one really called the Chance.
It's not the only one.
It's not the only one.
They don't seem to phone groups, so...
Yes, I can't hear the question again. Only buy coloured records. Yeah, many.
Marvin Gaye, Impressions, Temptations, Jimmy Reed, Million Bobby Bland, John Leo, B.B. King, all them exciters, Clarence Broadman Henry.
Oh, all right. Well, that's all we buy, isn't it?
Have you any thoughts on your next tour? And if you come back to this country, if and when you do, are you planning on going to the western part of the country, for instance, Wyoming, Colorado?
Do they plan another tour, and if they did, would they include the western states like Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming?
None of the tours are planned, you know, they're all planned for us. We don't plan them ourselves. So we don't really know what's going to happen.
Mr. Epstein plans them. He's standing behind me.
We'd like to, you know, like to go to all the places we haven't been to. Thank you. Like to come?
When Paul and John
no formula, actually. We just sort of, it can happen anyway, and it can take any amount of time from half an hour to a couple of weeks, No, it's never been. Yes, over on the right. That's fine. Yes.
You gentlemen, have you had a chance to see any of these supporting acts who appear with you on stage before your appearance?
Have they seen and have they any opinion of the supporting acts on their show?
They're all very good. They're all good. We saw them at that place. Where was the one we went? No, I saw them. They were not big stage. I saw them. It was last night, maybe. I can't remember. Last night?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
They're all the high standard.
There's a girl in red there. Could you describe what you...
Winkle pickle shoes.
What are winkle pickers?
Something we never wore 8 years ago.
Very long pointed shoes.
There's a lady in glasses there. Yes, with a badge on. Pardon?
She wants a drawing.
Oh, she wants a drawing.
Oh, yes.
Nice. What's your name? Barbara, the drawing. Keep the noise down, it's good for children.
The fellows have asked that they throw streamers here. These jelly bean garages been causing any problems, I'm safe.
They have.
And we could lose an eye that way.
Streamers are much nicer. About 2 more minutes for questions before radio.
Getting back to food again, do we have a poll right down the line of the foods you miss the most from England?
Pardon? Food we miss the most.
Who do we miss the most in England? Food? I'm sorry. It's not always easy to hear. What food do you miss, Ringo?
Well, it's roughly the same over here. It's just the way you cook it,
Same for me, and me. Don't miss any food, just the way you cook it.
Sausages and mash. Sausages and mash.
You get that thrown at you tonight.
Right. No. Not true.
Do any of you like pizza?
I don't.
Pizza Paul and Murphy.
What do the people think of Mick Jagger's hair? Too long.
Here we go.
I don't know.
Hello. Who's got a friend called Donna? Hello. I have. Rang me up that night. Far into the room again. I'll sit down there. Is this the friend called? Far into the room now again. Hello. Hello. Oh, I see. Yeah. Hello. How do you do? You won again, did you? Good. Well, we shake your hand. Yeah, well, we shake your hand. We do. Sure. How do you do? It's pleased to meet you. We do every morning. How do you do? What's your name, son? Arthur. Nice to meet you.
George, there's been some remarks accredited to the Beatles that you aren't too appreciative of all the jelly beans being thrown at you on your tour.
No, it's a bit dangerous, because jelly bean travelling about 50 mile an hour through the air, if it hits you in the eye, well, you're finished, you're blind, aren't you? So we've never liked people throwing stuff like that. We don't mind them throwing streamers, but jelly beans are a bit dangerous.
You had rave reviews about the motion picture, A Hard Day's Night. Do you plan to do another one soon?
Yeah, we make another film in February. We hope it's as good, if not better than the one we made.
Who is, if there is, a chief Beatle?
Me.
Is there a leader of the group?
Not really, you know. If anybody gets the blame for anything, it's me, so that's why I'm called the leader.
The group has been together for how long before you really became famous?
About 8 years.
8 years?
Us 3. Ringo joined about 3 years ago.
George, you were over in Hamburg.
Yeah, that's
some time
right.
ago, weren't you?
1960 we first went.
Where did Brian Epstein find you?
In Liverpool. We were working in the cabin, which is about 100 yards from the store he owned.
And it went from there?
Yeah.
Went from there. Fine, thank you very much.
Okay.
We've got a friend called Donna.
John's Uncle Charlie Lennon is a caring, compassionate friend of Beatle fans everywhere, always ready to sit down with Beatle people and talk about the good old days with his brother Fred and young John. He is that rarest of all creatures in the phenomenal world of Beatledom, a genuine eyewitness to the formation of a legend. Here he sings an original ballad beckoning back to the first bygone days of Beatlemania in Liverpool.
The ships of the Mersey that sailed away from the shores, they have been and gone and left us, never to return no more. Oh, come back to the Mersey, to the sounds of twist and shout. We'll keep the welcome here on Merseyside, of that there is no doubt. The live bird is silent, it's got nothing to shout about. It's seen as ships come in each day, and it's seen them all go out. But now those days are over, they were the scenes of the past. Now all the live bird hears these days is the chimes of the live clock.
Geoffrey Giuliano is the author of some 30 internationally best-selling books on the Beatles, John Lennon, and other iconic musicians of the 1960s. In 2006, his book, Paint It Black, The Murder of Brian Jones, was made into a film by Stephen Woolley and Nick Powell entitled Stoned, The Wild and Wicked World of Brian Jones. It remains a cult classic and the only film bio of the Rolling Stones. Giuliano is also a veteran journalist, having written for dozens of high-profile newspapers and magazines, including The Sunday People, The Daily Mail, The News of the World, The Mail on Sunday, Playgirl, and Rolling Stone. A noted film actor, Giuliano starred in such movies as Vikingdom, Scorpion King 3, Jules Verne's The Mysterious Island, The Fifth Execution, Far Cry 3, Fire Desire, among many. In addition, he hosted the long-running North American syndicated radio series, Geoffrey Giuliano's Roots of Rock, for 5 years, as well as pioneering the audiobook industry in the 1990s by authoring, narrating, and producing over 250 original, non-book-based, interview-driven productions. Giuliano's publishers included Random House, HarperCollins, Delta Entertainment, Durkin Hayes, Playaway Audio, Speechworks, and B&B Audio, among dozens more internationally. In 1998, Random House acquired his firm Tribute Audio, for which Giuliano acted as CEO and publisher for 5 years. His best-selling audiobook, That Fateful Night, True Stories of Titanic Survivors in Their Own Words, was nominated for a Grammy. In 2014, Geoffrey Giuliano founded Icon Editions and G2 Media Arts to market his updated works as well as publish new projects. As a visual artist, Geoffrey has been showing in galleries across America since 1977, garnering impressive reviews. His first professional assignment was designing several T-shirts for The Who's Pete Townsend in 1976. Geoffrey also designed and illustrated many of his original rock biographies for the biggest publishers in the world from 1984 to 2006, as well as designing for his pioneering record label, Samba Records, in the mid-1990s. From 2006 to 2011, Geoffrey was also the primary designer for the French fashion house Cotai. When Giuliano first conceived of creating his own literary imprint, Icon Editions, he became responsible for illustrating and designing 35 book covers, several hundred CDs, DVDs, as well as dozens of promotional posters, and eventually an entire collection of exclusive fashion and art. The expansive Design by Giuliano brand grew out of Geoffrey's impressive commitment to the arts and is the culmination of a lifetime's work by an extraordinarily talented and determined Renaissance man.